Hey, look, I love this community so much. I go to any lengths to make sure you guys as engineers are successful. I went through every single smart contract development framework that Consensus and the Ethereum website have to offer, and I tested them. I tested deploying a Chainlink smart contract to the COVID network. Also, I looked at their testing. Also, I looked at the local development, and I figured out which one's the best for you guys.
12 years to build the demo and suck.
So 2021, we can have an awesome year. So I'm gonna give you guys the deets on which smart contract development frameworks that you need to use for 2021 to make this year a banger. Let's go! You can see all my playings around, all my testing, all my frustration, and all my success in my GitHub repo here. Link in the description to check it out. Now I'm gonna say first off, there isn't a number one framework. There's a top 3, Hardhat, Truffle, and Brownie. And there's one bonus smart contract platform that we're gonna talk about as well. We're also gonna go over some of the tools that you definitely need to know about for 2021 to be successful. Not all of them, but some of the really important ones. And then we're gonna talk about a couple of the frameworks that didn't make the cut that could still be good alternatives if you want to try something new. Let's jump into it. The first smart contract development framework on my list is going to be Hardhat. Hardhat is awesome. A word that comes to mind when working with Hardhat is just clean. You know how like you're working with stuff and you're like, man, I wish this just worked. That's Hardhat. Stuff just works, and that feels so nice. It's a JavaScript framework, but it works on Ethers.js, which is different from Web3.js. It doesn't run on Ganache, it runs its own Hardhat runtime environment, which is really cool. Tests run super fast, and I have nothing but positive things to say about this. Yeah, if you like JavaScript, you haven't tried Hardhat yet, 100,000% give Hardhat a try. It's gonna make your life a lot better. Second one on the list is Truffle. Truffle is a fantastic framework. It's in basically every tutorial on the planet, and there's a reason that it's been around so long. It's a very powerful tool and allows you to get pretty much everything you want done. If you go on GitHub and you look for some other projects that you want to kind of copy off of or draw inspiration from, there's a good chance you'll pull from Truffle projects. Kind of set a lot of standards and a lot of precedents that a lot of other smart contract deployment frameworks have drawn off of. So if you haven't heard of Truffle, what are you doing? It feels like some of their documentation could be upgraded a little bit. It's a little hard to navigate, where with Hardhat, it's really easy to go from point A to point B. So I'm hoping Truffle steps it up for 2021, but in any case, they're still gonna be a powerhouse for this year. Now, Truffle and Hardhat are both super similar, and which one that you pick kind of doesn't matter. They both do what you need to get done. With Hardhat, you'll get a little bit of extra speed. You'll get to work with Ethers.js and a couple other niceties, whereas with Truffle, you'll get to work with the most widely used platform. Ethereum just has a crazy sweet tooth, am I right? If you've followed me at all, you know that I love Python and I love Brownie. Pretty much all of us Python engineers share this in common. None of us like JavaScript. When I found about Brownie, I kind of flipped out and was like, why have I been working with any of this other crap the whole time? Brownie's a super powerful framework. Projects like Yearn.finance use it. I made a video about it. It's really simple. It's really powerful. It does everything that you need it to do. The support is fantastic. I definitely recommend Brownie if you're looking for a really simple, clean framework. You love Python and you hate all this JavaScript crap that's all over the place. No, those are going to be my top 3. If you're looking for a platform to test and deploy smart contracts, I'm going to say use one of those 3. I will put a 4th place. It's actually Embark. So Embark.js is not only a smart contract deployment and testing framework, it also is front end and end-to-end suite of tools. So Truffle has Truffle for your back end, for your deployment, for your testing. It also has Drizzle for your front end. Embark is kind of like its own combination of the two. And it definitely has some really powerful tools. I didn't get to dive as deep into it as I would have liked to, but if you're looking to try something a little bit different, if you want something that has everything coupled, definitely check out Embark. I got support on it really easy when I ran into an issue. So those are going to be my top 3 for smart contract development frameworks. And I'm going to go into some alternatives and some outdated ones that you should stay away from. But before I do that, I want to talk about a couple of tools that you definitely need to know about for this year. Link in the description to the Ethereum website and to Consensus's GitHub, which has a lot of other tools as well if you want to look at it. But these are some tools that I think are really important. Obviously, MetaMask and Fura, all those are going to be important, but these are a little bit lesser known. Open Zeppelin's contracts and upgrades. If you're not using Open Zeppelin in your projects, you better have a good reason for it, because Open Zeppelin makes life way easier. OpenZeppelin has this built-in upgradable smart contracts plugin. They seem to be at the forefront of kind of this upgradable plugin, an Etherscan/Block Explorer verifier. Whenever you deploy a smart contract, people are always like, hey, can you verify an Etherscan? It's also really nice for you to kind of go jump on and see what other people will interact with, when they're checking out Etherscan. So most projects have a built-in plugin functionality. I know Truffle does, I know Hardhat does, I know Brownie does as well. So when you deploy your contracts, you want to be able to easily verify them on Etherscan as well. Definitely use that, definitely leverage that for 2021. One other tool that I think is really cool is Create ETH app. So all these frameworks are great for doing stuff on the back end. But if you don't have a front end, then nobody can interact with the project and it's basically useless. So Create ETH app is basically a Create React app, but specifically tailored for Ethereum developers and Ethereum smart contract engineers. If you're a little bit newer, I want to talk to you as well. A couple other tools for you new engineers is going to be One-Click dApp and Scaffold ETH. If you're terrible at front-end development, One-Click dApp will actually spin up a front end for you. Scaffold ETH has a version of this as well. They're kind of a full-fledged end-to-end dApp as well, where they have a back-end and a front-end. So again, if you don't really want to work on your front-end pieces, you can definitely check out Scaffold ETH and start going through that to deploy your smart contracts. As always, Remix is a great tool for beginners looking to kind of jump in and really visualize what's happening on chain. And now it's time to talk about altcoins. I mean frameworks. Alternative frameworks. The rest of these frameworks, I would say, are not bad by any stretch of the imagination, and they might even be perfect for what you're looking for. I just don't feel, for me personally, I want to use them. The first one is Waffle.js. Now, this one actually is really nice, and it's a really minimalist framework, but it's kind of more tailored to testing, and Hardhat actually uses Waffle as part of their platform. So Waffle, I feel like it's part of Hardhat, but if you want to use just Waffle by itself, you can. So if you want a really raw experience, Waffle is great. Dapper.tools was really interesting, actually. This looked like it was MakerDAO endorsed. I was actually surprised by how kind of nice this tool was. It's really simple. You can deploy smart contracts. You can do integrations with all the tools that we know and love. It's written in Haskell. It's command line friendly. Not something that I would personally want to work with. But if you're looking for something a little bit different, check out Dap.tools. Really strong framework. SBT Ethereum. This was the most different platform that I worked with. Focuses on interacting with these smart contracts almost solely from the command line and was focused at hobbyists and smart contract developers alike. It's written with Scala, which I know none of. It looks like it was being mildly active and mildly maintained. So this is another framework that you can check out if the other ones don't tickle your fancy. The last one that we're going to look at is Epirus. I think Epirus is kind of Truffle-like in the way that they're set up. It looks nothing like Truffle when you look at the code. However, it's Truffle-like in the way that it's set up. So it's actually a Java-based smart contract platform, but they had a similar business structure. They had their free plan, and then you could upgrade it for their paid plan, which looks like it has more features. If you go to the website, it looks like they're still building. Mainnet release is coming soon. It looks like this would be a great tool for those of you looking to do mobile development or Android development as well. So if you're really strong with Java, definitely check this out. It might be the tool for you. Outdated frameworks. So you'll see these frameworks pop up in lists of the frameworks that you want to use. I'm going to go ahead and say to avoid these frameworks. Not that they're bad, but maybe they're not maintained. They're not as recent as some of the other ones or some other reasons. So let's jump into it. So the first one is actually the only exception to this rule. So the OpenZeppelin SDK. This thing was awesome. It's actually one of the easiest ones I worked with, which is weird that I'm saying not to use it. But the reason I'm saying not to use it is because it's being intentionally depreciated. So OpenZeppelin is focusing on all the awesome tools that I mentioned above. It's kind of a shame because it was really clean and one of the easiest ones for me to work with. It's another JavaScript framework, but I like what they're doing. They're saying, hey, Truffle and Hardhat, you guys got it. We don't need another JavaScript framework. So I'm going to say don't work with this simply because they're not supporting it anymore. However, if you do happen to come across it or work with it, it's really nice. Etherlime. This is another framework that seems to have fallen out of favor. It's not really actively maintained anymore. I'm just going to give this a hard pass. I didn't have a whole lot of success with it. Parasol. This is another inactive JavaScript framework. This is another one I'm going to say hard pass. The last commit was over 2 years ago. So again, all my experimentation can be found in the link below. I do some streaming now and actually streamed me playing with these and streamed me testing this out. Had some really good conversations with those of you who watched. Stream link is in the description. I have a schedule up that I'm going to try to stick to. If you guys enjoying the content, feel free to smash that like. We need like an Ethereum version of smash the subscribe button. Whatever the Ethereum version of smash the subscribe button is, shill the subscribe button, degen the FOMO into the ape into the subscribe button. Yeah, and tell all your friends to ape into the subscribe button too. At 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a video where I order a pizza through a smart contract. Pizza reveal at 1,000 subs.